What's going on, Print Fam? It's your boy Cam. In today's video, we're just gonna briefly talk about some of the important things you need to have sorted out before you officially open the doors to your t-shirt printing shop. Let's do it. But before we get started on this video, I have a favor to ask you. If you made it through the title intro, you're already here, so do us a favor and actually watch the video to the end. And I do have a couple of questions for you guys. One's in the middle and one's at the end of the video. Hang in there and be sure to let me know your opinions on both of those questions in the comments of this video. Step number one is going to be sorting out your business license. It's very easy to do, just a few simple steps, and you have a couple of different options. So let's go over those. And the reason that the licensing is so important, beyond the obvious that you have to pay taxes to your state and to the feds, or you're going to go to jail, is that if you don't have specifically your state tax identification number sorted out, you're not going to be approved, or you're not going to be able to even create accounts to a lot of the wholesalers within the garment industry. First, I figured that we'll cover the cheaper yet more complicated way. This is the way that you would do it if you were going to file yourself manually without hiring a third party to do it for you. The first step is going to be to go to your city or your state's corporate commission. Like here in Arizona, it's called the Arizona Corporate Commission. You can go to azcd.gov. Your state has something similar to this. And you're going to register your business, right? As an LLC or a sole proprietorship or whatever. Well, for me, I registered Monument Limited Print and Design LLC. Super long. I regret it, but that's the way I filed it. And then they'll check availability for you and all that kind of stuff. And then from there, you can secure your name and you can submit your application through the corporate commission of your particular state. Once you get all that stuff approved, you're going to file for your TIN or your EIN, whatever the heck they call it. You're getting your federal tax ID number, which is on, is it irs.gov? I can't remember, irs.gov. So go to irs.gov. So just go up to the search and you're going to apply for your employer identification number. Again, you're going to need your TPT number from your corporate commission to file for this, if I remember correctly. And this part you can for sure file online. Once you get approved for this, the final step is to go to your back to your state and just go to Google and search whatever your state is. So Arizona TPT registration. And there it is. So ours is azdor.gov, and this is where you can apply for that online. When I did it, I went down to those offices and did it all in person. And then the only one I think I filed over the phone was the EIN or the TIN number. So that's pretty much it, man. So this is the first way you can do it manually. It takes a little bit of research. The other way, which is the way I did most recently when I was filing for the Print Life, you know, to get all my business licensing and stuff for the actual Print Life name, is just something very simple called LegalZoom. There's a bunch of different services out there. LegalZoom is not the only option. This is not a paid plug or any of that kind of crap. This is what I used, and I think my total out the door was 100, 200, 300. It's about, for them to do it for me, I think it was between 500 and 900 bucks. It's been a minute since I did it. But this is an option for you. You can go through and you can see the first page on LegalZoom.com, business formation. You pop on in here. You just select what you want to do. In almost every case, you're going to do an LLC. You go to learn more. Enter your LLC name. They'll tell you if it's available, and then you just get started and you go through the process. Step number two can only be achieved after you've finished step number one. So let's assume that you've already done that. You've got all your numbers. Now it's time to start sorting out your garment wholesalers. You need wholesale pricing to allow you to make a profit on the markup of those garments and to just generally to run your shop in a profitable manner. There's two options. You can either go with a national company that is set up to ship across the nation, or you can go with the local options. So first, let's just talk about some of the national brands that are out there, the ones that I'm familiar with, and it's a good place for you to start. The first one is one of the major runners in the garment wholesaling game, and they are called Sanmar. If you visit sanmar.com, mar.com. You will be greeted with this screen, and you can see a new customer sign up page right here. You're gonna follow up with this, and you just kind of start cranking through the application process. Nature of your business, and you can see right here, it says state sales tax license number, which is the only thing that they require. They don't require your EIN. So you just go through here, you fill that whole thing out, and then they will give you an email letting you know whether you've been approved or disapproved. SS Activeware, I don't know, what is happening? So it's just ssactiveware.com. And this is another one. You come up here to the top right, you go sign up, and you just start filling out all this information. So I love these guys. I use them. They have a lot of good technologies for integrations with the websites that you're building and all these different platforms that you may build. Like the platform I'm building has a great integration with them, which is why I tend to prefer SNS. Third option that I know of is Alpha Broder. They recently bought Bodek and Rhodes, so Bodek and Rhodes is no longer in the running. You visit alphabroder.com. You go through the sign up process, right here where it says open an account. Crank through it and you'll have access to wholesale prices. They're another one. I don't think they make their own stuff. And then there is another one called TSC Apparel. That's an honorable mention. I'm not going to show the website or anything, but those are the major four. Another option that you have, which I think is probably better when you're just starting out, is to run a local search for garment wholesalers. So you just head on to Google. Google's your best friend in all of these steps, and just say t-shirt wholesaler near me in Arizona. We have got, let's just kind of start at the top and move our way down. McCreary's is the main wholesaler in our area, so a lot of people use them. And you may find that you can locate a wholesale distributor for blank apparel in your area just with a quick Google search. You can also hit up Impressions. They have the Industry Trade magazine. Most garment wholesalers place an ad in those publications so that you can find them in your area. All right, man, let's move on. Number 3, this is very, very important, and this is in regards to finding a reputable and friendly supplier of your inks and your emulsions and all of the things you need to actually print images on garments. It's fucking hot in here, dude. My air conditioner broke. It's not that hot in Phoenix today. It's like 97 degrees, but this thing, dude, I go through one of these a year, and the expiration date has hit on that unit. I gotta get another one. Oh, shit. I noticed that when it's hot in here, this is sick, bro. This is the kind of person I am. When it's hot and uncomfortable in here, you know, obviously I can't just sit here and watch YouTube videos. I find myself more willing to get off my ass, go out to the shop and shoot some interesting videos. Like I did the HD testing video, all because it was hot in here. What does that say about me? All right, let's get back on track. There are a few national companies out there, and I'll give each one of them a little shout out. And then from there, you also typically, in most major cities, you'll have a local screen print supplier. So let's dive into ways that you can go about finding them, and hopefully this is helpful. Let's first talk about some of the national screen print suppliers that I'm aware of. Just run a real quick search for screen printing suppliers. I mean, you're gonna see a bunch of the major ones. The first one, and I think it's the most obvious within this industry, is screenprinting.com, aka Ryonet. They're the Walmart of the screen printing industry. They've had a really big marketing push, so now I think a lot of people would consider them like the main supplier. So you can always start there if you're just starting out within the industry. A couple of things that I found with them, they tend to be a little bit more expensive than your local supplier. You also have Anthem Screen Printing, which they're pretty much a national brand. You have Cat Spit Productions. Those are all kind of national ones. But here's my real advice to you. If you're just getting started, you're gonna want to at least build a relationship with a couple of your local suppliers. If you're in some kind of a major area, chances are good that you have a supplier within 30 minutes of your shop. You can head up on into Google, you can hit up your phone book if you're not a Google person, and just type screen print. I mean, this is so obvious, right? There's near me. And just see what pops up. The two that I have used since the beginning are going to be Advanced Screen Print Supply out of Tempe, and then Multicraft, who is now also recently located to Tempe. These are both great companies. They have a lot of good, they have everything that you could possibly need, and I like working with them. The reason I believe it's probably better for you to go with a local supplier, if you can, in the beginning, is that having that resource close to you so that you can give them a call, get something you need, head down there and pick it up quickly, is hugely beneficial, man, because in the screen printing game, especially when you're first starting out, you just need so much stuff. Another job comes up and you don't have glitter ink and you need to get it quick, right, because you overpromised something to one of your clients. So having that resource is a huge deal. Not to mention you're keeping it local and supporting your local industry as opposed to supporting a national brand, which who really wants to do that? We do that out of necessity and convenience, but at the end of the day, turn the fan off. I always film the questions after I've shot the whole video, so it always feels a little bit of continuity issues. First Print Fam question of the day is in regards to the suppliers that you use. What is the most important thing that a print supplier can offer you as a shop owner? Whatever it is, there's a million different reasons. What I want to know is what you guys at your shop find to be the most valuable. So be sure to pop into the comments, give your opinions, let us know what's most important to you in a printing supplier, and hit the thumbs up for me. Thank you. Number 4, this is an important one, and I get this question is proposed and asked and DM'd and commented more than any other question in the screen printing industry, is how do I price my printing services? And it goes a little something like this. I'm just starting in the printing business and I don't know where to start with my pricing. I checked the price list of all my local competitors. Should I just lower my price by a couple dollars compared to them or a few cents and just start that way? And to you, I say no. Don't do that. I started that way. I got a bunch of clients and never made a single dollar in the industry. It is the fastest way to the bottom. If you undercut, I know in your brain you think, oh, well, I'll just undercut my competition until I run them out of business. That's exactly what I was delusional enough to think I was going to do that. And I figured I would run them out of business and then I would raise my prices up. Not gonna happen. Even if you do manage to run the other guy down the street out of business, a new one's gonna pop up that thinks exactly the way you're thinking. And it's a vicious cycle that has ultimately commoditized the printing industry. As I'm saying this stuff to you guys, I'm realizing what it is that keeps these shops in this delusional state of mind. It's the same thing that kept me in this delusional state of mind and running for like 5 years without really making money. It's just the fact that you're in business for yourself. I guess that, because you've been dreaming about doing this for so long, just the feeling and the action of doing it for yourself and not having your own boss, or not having a boss and being your own boss, makes it feel like it's worth this. It's like, because you're looking at the stuff and you're like, God, I never have any money at the end of the month. What is going on here? But it still feels worth it to you compared to the alternative, which is going back to work at a company and not being your own boss. But I think that you need to understand the same thing that I came to understand way later than I should have. If you're running a business and you're not somehow finding a way to make more than you're spending to create or to run the business that you're doing, it's a joke. For a long time, that's exactly what I was. That's a tough pill to swallow. So as I'm saying this stuff to you, realize that you don't want to be a joke in the business, and you don't want to be in something that's just squeaking by just because it gives the illusion that you're in business for yourself. Well, you want to be doing well. And that's what I want to drive home to you more than talking about pricing itself, and I'll talk about that here in a second. The real goal for you is to get profitable, make a good living, and then start putting all of your effort into creating services and an experience for your customers that will keep them coming back and remove their focus from price and bring their focus to what's truly important when it comes to them hiring a service, which is your attention to detail, the type of experience you provide them, what you do for them above and beyond what the competition is doing that's charging nothing. As far as how to go about pricing your shop correctly based on the expenses that you have in your shop, you could hire somebody. I think that the absolute smartest way would be to reach into your roster of people. If you have someone that's a CPA or they're bookkeepers or they're going to school for accounting, have a talk with them, show them how you want to set it up, and see if they can't help you figure out what your expenses are and where your prices need to be based on a certain amount of volume to get where you need to be. Another option would be to there's consultants within the industry all over the place. I'm not going to really name drop any of them, but you can reach out to a screen print consultant and you can ask them how they would go about structuring your pricing before you hire them. Ask them what kind of formula they use. Make sure that they don't just copy from some table somewhere else. Make sure that they have a formula that they use to calculate it. And maybe you could hire them to do it for you. But what I ended up doing was a couple of things. The first way I went about it was moving away from the table-based pricing structure, sort of. A long-ass time ago, Ryonet released this a long time ago, and it's an interesting system that if you understand some of the basic numbers that your shop is producing, you can get pricing and you can, get stuff accordingly. One of the first things that you're going to find with this, especially if you're comparing your prices to other shops in the area, is that your prices need to be substantially higher than what most shops in your area are charging. So for you to get clients with realistic pricing that ensures you're actually going to make a good living in this industry, is you're going to have to also formulate a plan on how you're going to serve your clients better to compensate for your prices being higher. One of my best pieces of advice for that is going to be, first, just always answering your phone and emails promptly. That needs to be your main focus. But another big thing is providing other services. Like if you can do more all-in-one stuff, that's a big deal. If you're able to sit down with your clients and do really intricate like design briefs and stuff like that, that may help you get clients early on. There's a lot of things you can do. I'm not even going to go into all the things you can do. Get creative on how you're going to up your value to compensate for your prices being higher. Now back to this thing. What you're going to find is with accurate pricing structures based on actual profitability, your prices are going to be so much higher than the competition. And that's just the way it is, man. But take comfort in knowing that if you price your stuff accordingly, the guys down the street, you already know, man, they're not doing well. They're just not. They're not doing a good job because they're priced too low and they're on the verge of going out of business. But if you become them, you will also be on the verge of going out of business all the time. Or you'll just be working to work and you'll be able to keep the lights on, but that's about as far as your business is taking you. And since I started up until recently, that's exactly what I have been doing. So proceed with caution. You can survive, but that's about it. But this thing is interesting because what you ultimately do is you go in and you enter your rent costs, your electric costs, your phone costs, whatever. This is a pretty obvious thing to figure out. I'm not going to explain it, but you can get it in the Print Life group still. Shout out to Ryonet for making this years and years ago. It's in their best interest to make sure that shops do well, so they release this kind of stuff because they want to sell you products. So, it's good for them for doing this. I'm trying to think. This is another one which was something that came to me later on when it was all convenient. I started the YouTube channel, and then this gentleman reached out to me, and he was just kind of talking to me because he wanted to get involved with the channel because he had some stuff he was marketing. So, I brought him in to talk to him about some stuff. And for that, he gave me this. Yeah, here we go. He provided me with this. The lighting in here is shit. This has been happening the whole time, hasn't it? He provided me with this packet, which is called Price for Profit. And you can get it on atkinsonconsulting.com. And this thing, at first I was like, I'm going through it and I'm all, oh, holy shit. Right? You got to do all this calculations. You got to know how many impressions you're doing per month. But you don't have to know them, you can estimate. And as I went through the workbook, and I just started from page 1 and went through it, it comes with the book, and it also comes with all of your Excel spreadsheets to help you input the numbers. It does all the calculations for you. And I think that if you're just starting out, this is a worthwhile investment. Now, he hooked me up with it just because I put him on the show and I kind of helped him get himself out there in the beginning. But I think he sells this thing for like, 40 or 50 or 60 bucks on his website. And you can hit this thing up if you want to. This is not like a paid advertisement or anything like that. But that may be another way for you to go, or you can reach out to a consultant, some shit like that. You know what, man? I'll bet you, I have his email. Hang on real quick. You know what I'm going to do? Give me one sec. Hang on. I'll be right back. I'm going to email this guy. Yeah, I'll be back in a second. I'm the worst business person when it comes to this YouTube channel, and it's like almost completely non-monetized. And as I was pitching this thing, and I was like, oh, dude, this is a good thing. I was like, you know what? I better just reach out to this dude and see if he has like a what do you call it, a code or something like that. So I emailed him, and he actually fired off back to me, and he gave me this link. So he's gonna give me a percentage. So if you guys decide that you want to go with this route, if you do, cool. If you don't, cool. But if you decide to buy the thing, I'm gonna put a link, and it's https://atkinson.fyi printfam pfp. I'll put that link in the description of this video right at the top. If you decide you want to go with this thing, just follow the link, and he's gonna hook me up with a little percentage of the sale. I got to start doing more of this, dude, because I just tend to shout the industry out fucking for free without getting anything back from it. I got to start monetizing this thing a little bit more if I'm going to do it. I do all this work, you know. If you're serious about this business and you want to make a real go of it, this is a good solution. Or hire a consultant or somebody like that to come in and help you out. I feel like I'm going to leave, the final note is this. I can't in good conscience tell you what your prices should be. There are a couple solutions out there for you to make sure that you're pricing your services to keep you in business, but not only keep you in business, but have you be profitable so that your business can grow. If you look at my situation, we've done a lot of work. We've worked with so many different clients, and we've done good work. But because our pricing was so low for so many years, it stagnated the growth of this shop. And I could have went two ways at that point. I could have been the dum-dum and started financing more equipment to try to do the work faster and hold on to those same prices. But I feel like I had the presence of mind to understand that before I start financing equipment to try to keep up with this huge volume of low rent clients, that I needed to get my pricing structure up, start working on my services and what I can provide to the clients. And then from there, when the time comes and I have good paying clients and good paying customers that appreciate what we do, and as the volume comes in, then it would be the right time to automate. So I won't be growing to patch a problem. I'll be growing because we're an actual profitable growing business. All right, for the final question of the day is to all of you shops out there that have successfully put a pricing strategy together. How'd you go about doing it? Let me know in the comments. This is extremely important. I know that you can't go into detail about how to organize your pricing, but maybe if you guys have any resources or anything like that, that would be really incredible. Cool, guys. That's it so much. Gracias.